Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I hope you are having a great day. Let's start with today's stories. Am I the idiot for deciding to quietly change my will without telling my wife? My 34 male wife, 32 female, and I just had our first baby today. We were in the delivery room, all was going well, and I was holding her hand trying my best to be supportive. She was in pre-labor and was experiencing irregular contractions that she said weren't painful yet. I told her how much I loved her and that she was doing great, but made sure not to talk too much either. All of a sudden, my wife tells me to please, get out. I ask her what happened, and she says she just doesn't want me there right now. I stand there in surprise for several seconds, after which the midwife tells me to get out or she'll call security. I feel humiliated. Not only was I banned abruptly from watching my child's birth, but it was under the threat of force. Throughout our marriage, I've suspected that my wife wouldn't be with me if it wasn't for my job and family background. Her eyes don't light up when I come home from work. I start our long hugs and she ends them early. Her eyes wander when I'm talking to her. I don't think she loves me nearly as much as I love her. I'm not accusing her of being a gold digger. She may love me on some level, but I don't know that she has ever been in love with me. If I died tomorrow, I don't know if it would take her very long to move on. I live in a state where the right to an elective share is 25% of separate property. We don't have a prenup, so this means that my wife has a right to at least 25% of my separate property if I die, even if I were to disinherit her in my will. I've decided to give her 30% of my separate property. It was previously 100% and 100% of our communal property if I die. The rest of my separate property, including income, producing assets and heirlooms, goes to my children and other family members. Am I the idiot? OP also say this in the comments. I feel like some of this may be a cultural gap. In our culture, we merge our lives when we get married. If she didn't want me there, I would have felt a lot better about her talking about it with me beforehand, hearing my opinion, and asking me if I would be okay with not being present at our child's birth. I would have respected her wishes, even though it would have hurt. It's just demeaning to threaten me with force instead to keep me from being present at my child's birth. I'm sure you'll disagree, but that's okay. I think everyone should do what they think is right. I don't think you're the idiot for wanting to make a will, or rather for what you decided in the will, but you kind of are, for the reason why you did it in the first place. Your wife was in one of the most vulnerable moments she will ever go through, and for some reason she didn't want you there. This wasn't about you, but about who she felt comfortable going through this moment of vulnerability. Which makes me ask, why isn't that person you? You started this narrative in your head that this all happened because she doesn't love you enough. But maybe she also doesn't think you love her enough to see a baby, literally get out of her and still want her. Maybe she thinks you are more interested in her appearance, and that the moment you saw her giving birth, or something she or you considered disgusting, you would be different with her afterwards. But honestly, I think you just read too much into this one thing. Yes, you have every right to be upset because you aren't at our child's birth, but your reaction wasn't to talk to your wife, or to vent to your friends and family, or just complain on the internet. No, your decision was to make a will, so that your wife, who just gave birth to your child, doesn't get your full inheritance. This is strange and problematic. If you continue to act like this, I think you should start worrying a lot more about a good divorce lawyer, since you don't have a prenup, than about a will. But good God, go talk to your wife. Now let's read the comments. Throughout our marriage, I've suspected that my wife wouldn't be with me if it wasn't for my job and family background. Her eyes don't light up when I come home from work. I start our long hugs and she ends them early. Her eyes wander when I'm talking to her. I don't think she loves me nearly as much as I love her. Then why, for the love of God and all things good, would you decide to have a kid with a woman who you think doesn't even love you in the first place? You should read up on the stages/phases of labor, specifically transitioning to stage 2 of labor. This is a common reaction moms have, and it's due to an abundance of hormones and emotions. And maybe consider speaking to your wife about how you've been feeling. It's understandable you were upset and hurt that she threw you out of the delivery room, but clearly your marriage already has issues if you jump from that to changing your will on the same day. You two need to have a heart-to-heart conversation. Do note though, that your wife didn't threaten to remove you by force, that was the midwife. And without more info, it's hard to assess her feelings. All those things you described are things both my husband and I have done to each other at some point, eyes wandering, not in the mood for a long hug, etc. It doesn't mean we don't love each other, just that we're not always in the mood to show it. You are the idiot. You are having a baby today and you are on Reddit? And changing your will? Your wife is still bleeding and you are having a tantrum about why she doesn't love me. All because she dared change her mind about having you in the room when she felt the excruciating pain of having a baby tearing apart her inside. And you have the freaking balls to say you love her. What a joke. Oh, are you enjoying the video so far? If so, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications to know when a new video is out. This helps the channel, so I really appreciate it. Now let's go to the next story. Am I the idiot for taking away my daughter's gifts because she didn't spend Christmas with us? My daughter, Leah's mother and I were never married, but we did officially separate when she was 5. I got with my wife, Naya, when Leah was 9, and married her when Leah was 12. Leah never got on with Naya, didn't want to spend time with her, and was just generally unpleasant to her. We are currently in family therapy, and honestly, I think Leah just says the meanest thing possible, to avoid actually discussing her feelings with us. She's absolutely amazing to hang around with one-on-one, but is unpleasant around Naya. We were all supposed to spend Christmas together, as per our custody agreement. Leah is 16 now, and we have been more lenient, but we have always adhered to our agreement for holidays and birthdays. On Christmas Eve, Leah left to see her boyfriend's family and drop off her gifts. At around 6, I call her and ask when she's heading home. She says she's staying. I know her mom lives near her boyfriend, and asked if that's where she was going. She didn't answer. I told her to come home, and she pretty much agreed, but then never did. I did call her boyfriend's parents, and they confirmed she left to her mother's, and I called her mother who said Leah was there. Naya was heartbroken, because she felt like Leah didn't want to be there because of her. This year, Naya handled all the gifts, she did the work of going in store and picking them up and picking them out. I decided that my daughter wasn't allowed to shit on Naya's efforts, to at least be civil with her. So, when Leah got home and I asked why she wasn't at Christmas, she said she wanted to spend it with her real mom. I said that's fine. When she asked about her gifts, I said her fake mom got it for her, so she didn't need them. Needless to say, she's pissed at me and hasn't said anything. Naya appreciates me putting my foot down, but feels like Leah is a lost cause and to just give her the gifts. Leah's mom agrees she needs to stop treating Naya badly, and expecting no consequences. Am I the idiot? Note, she has the gifts her mom and boyfriend and other family got her. Just not the ones Naya helped with. I got her a car for Christmas, gifted it to her in November, because she needed the car. Leah is an only child on both sides. I have no other children and don't plan to. I am fine with having a relationship with Leah outside of Naya. My issue is that she treats Naya badly, like a subhuman. She acts outright nasty to her. I wouldn't push so hard, if she could at least be civil. OP also share this in the comments. I want her to be civil and give us a boundary. She won't have a conversation that's productive about her boundaries. She wants Naya gone, and while I love her, I'm not dissolving my marriage, because she wants me to be with her mom or just doesn't like Naya. Leah's mother is single. And her reasoning is because she doesn't want her partner to be treated how Naya is. Ouch. Leah has her own sessions separately, as well as with us. The boundaries between me and Naya are that we simply want her to be respectful. None of the name-calling, or bad-mouthing, or being rude. In therapy, it's been made clear that what she wants isn't reasonable, and that she can't expect to never have to interact with Naya ever. Leah is an only child on both sides. She hasn't done this exact thing before, but when she's been disrespectful or outright nasty, I have asked her what her issues are, and how we can fix them. Her response has always just been that she doesn't like her, never will. And after this, Naya has told me she can't put any more energy towards making it work with her. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the a-hole. I believe that taking away her gifts makes me the a-hole, because I can't punish her for how she feels towards Naya, and maybe in doing this, I'm creating a bigger gap between them. Well, since you had already gifted your daughter before, and your wife was the one who bought them and agreed not to give her the Christmas presents, I honestly don't think you did anything wrong. It was kind of a jerk move, because it was last minute, but it wasn't wrong, not really. But your daughter doesn't want a relationship with your wife, at least for now, and that's obvious. And if you guys continue to insist on it, it might only make things worse. And maybe that's how she sees family therapy, as if you somehow want your wife to replace her mom, or also be her mother. I don't know. Maybe in the future, who knows, she will want to have a relationship with Naya, but not now. But I also understand that you want your wife to be respected, and for your daughter to be, at least, civil with her. And since this isn't happening, it was the way you thought of showing Leah the consequences of her actions. But damn, does this girl want both her parents to be unhappy? She wants to destroy her dad's marriage, and her mom is so afraid of her doing the same to a partner of hers, that she would rather not even try to have a relationship. God damn, this girl has issues. Please, focus on individual therapy for her, she needs it. Now let's read what the comments say. Not the idiot, based on edit, both you and her mother agree her behavior towards her is not acceptable. She shouldn't expect gifts from someone she treats wrong. You should sit down outside of therapy and ask her what the real issue is. Has she ever said or did anything to her? And is she holding on to the idea of her bio parents getting back together? You don't need to wait for her to share, you need to ask and establish boundaries. Understand her feelings, but disrespect will not be tolerated. Not the idiot. You already gave her a car for Christmas. You are only not giving her the present that your wife selected. And why would you do that, if your daughter doesn't even like her? She is 16, so she is old enough to understand that action has consequences. Not the idiot. She doesn't have to like your wife, she doesn't have to be all cozy with your wife, but she does need to be civil and respectful. This is the real world, she's nearly an adult, she is definitely old enough to understand the concept of treating others the way she'd like to be treated. Like, basic stuff. It's time she had some consequences. Even her mother is on board. At some point, she needs to have consequences for her actions or she won't learn. This is a basic and important lesson for her. If you shit on someone endlessly, at some point they're going to stop trying. They'll stop caring, they'll stop trying to do things for you. And most importantly, they will stop caring enough to give you things. She's been consistently rude and cold to your wife, has refused to even stop by and spend some of Christmas with you guys, but she still wants her gifts? No, thank you. You don't reward people for being rude. She was rude, she decided not to attend your Christmas, so she forfeited her own gifts. The holiday is about spending time together. She doesn't get to request gifts remotely. She didn't want to come over, so that's her choice. She's not 7 years old. She knows, damn well, you don't get to be like, I hate you and don't want to be around you, but make sure you send over all my Christmas gifts. She needs to grow up. This girl is in for a very rude awakening in the real world, if someone doesn't start stepping up and teaching her some tough life lessons. And what do you think of these stories? What would you do if you were in any of these situations? What advice would you give them? Don't forget to leave your comments down below. And that's it for today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time.